So this is going to be a video about aliens, right? Well, more precisely about an interview, a declassified file from the military, from the government, nonetheless, of a video with a supposed alien. Now, you guys could either believe it or not. Take it with a grain of sand. Saying it's your opinion. Saying let me know in the comments down below. Do you think it's CGI? Do you think it's faked? What was the message clear? Is the message what matters? I mean, you guys let me know. What I think is, I think it was a real alien. And let's go over the interview. We're gonna go over the interview over here. So, it's a 14, 15 minute video, but I'm gonna be breaking it down because there's some things that I saw that could be true and that have become true and that are leading to the truth. But then there are some things I disagree with, and that's what we're gonna go over. And let's just assume, for the sake of the video, for knowledge and for wisdom, that this video is real and that, just is the message the important thing. Whether you think the alien is real or not, or whether you think it's CGI computer made, or whether it's real, it doesn't matter. And I don't, frankly care. What I care about is the message. The message that this creature brings and the tactics that the government uses, which makes me think, there's something bigger going on here, but it ain't we the people. It has to do with the same people who are trying to who have to protect we the people, but are obviously not doing that. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and do the interview here with the supposed Mr. Alien, and we'll make sure that everything is correct over here, running good. Okay, perfect. And by the way, guys, before I get started with the story, uh, right now, Mrs. Nydia Stone, who's Roger Stone's wife, has been diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. I left a little comment over here. God bless Roger Stone and his wife Nydia. May the healing powers of Jesus Christ heal her body from all disease and illness in the name of the good Lord. Amen. If you guys could head over to the Gateway Pundit on Instagram and write in a little comment there too, so she gets better, and put in your prayers. Roger Stone's wife. If you guys don't know who Roger Stone is, which I'm sure 98% of my audience, you guys do know who Roger Stone is. So it would be wonderful if you guys just went over there and left a little comment, a little heart, and let Mr. Stone know that we're in his prayers. With that being said, let's get right to it, guys. Where's that? The video's right here. So let's go ahead and start it up right now. And Project Blue Book. Project number 220675, June 9th, 1964. We're approaching that 50-year mark, I think, or 53 or 55. Classified Air Technical Intelligence Center. Let's begin.
Okay, we're recording. State on order, John.
Earth, right immediately. The creature says that this is from this, and you'll see why he says that he is from Earth. I have some ideas, some theories that, look, man, I have a lot of, look, besides the news, all right, guys, look, besides the news and journalism, which I enjoy doing, and it's one of my favorite hobbies, and I love reporting on the news and bringing it to you guys in a funny comedic way and all that stuff, making you guys laugh and bringing you the news, because the news sometimes can be a little sad and negative. So I try my best to bring you the news of what's actual truth, but make you feel like, hey, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, but everything's gonna be all right, right? With that being said, I also like to dive deep into stuff like with aliens and UFOs. And if you guys haven't recently known, even Fox came out this morning, I think, talking about now that there's 14 UFOs, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena known as UAP or UFO, unidentified flying objects, surrounding Navy air bases. And this time it was like 14. Is it a distraction? I don't know. Is there a lot going on? Yes. Are the elections thing with Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, all that, what I'm saying, shaking the pot, stirring the cup? Yes. Okay, but let's not dismiss the fact that this could also be a 50% chance that it might be aliens, right? And obviously you're looking at the creature. Is it fake? Is it not? CGI? That's up to you. You make that decision. All I care about is the message and breaking it down, because I know I saw that interview already. And you'll see why this alien-looking creature, which a lot of you think it's a fallen angel, this and that. We know the book now, and we know now that the demons do represent of what is aliens, but they might. Okay, let's just start the video so I can break it down as it goes along, because the alien says some things, the message, that makes me like question, like, damn, it could be true, it could be not. I mean, it might be, it is, because I have like 15 years of experience in this stuff, guys. I have been reading about it, doing research. I'm into it too, into this whole UFO stuff. I know some things are the government. I know we're having stuff with China, Russia, and all that stuff, and blah blah, and yada yada yada. But I mean, I know enough to know that we have visitors here. We have visitors coming in and watching what's happening. Maybe they're so advanced that they know the turmoil that's unfolding in America right now, and perhaps they're here to either save us or warn us or do something. I know that for a fact in the past it has been known that aliens have actually helped humanity by disabling launch pads on the Montana border along all the way to like New York back in like the 1999 when it was supposed to launch to other countries, but then UFOs came over and then stopped it. So if anything, like I say, if this is an intelligent race of beings more advanced than us, then obviously they have the capacity to rule us, to rule over us. But they haven't done it because I guess free will and maybe God is intervening. I don't know. But it's getting close. Mm-hmm. It's getting then close. Uh, some wax right here, guys, for the nerds, you know. All right, let's get started. So, all right, so the alien said that he's from Earth. You guys will find out why he says that this alien is from Earth. It's quite interesting, and I do believe it. I do believe the thing. I do believe the creature because of my research. But I'll get to that. Let's play the tape, man. Let's start from the beginning again.
Okay, we're recording. State planet origin. Okay, yesterday you told us you traveled, and I quote, thousands of light years to get here.
So if you guys didn't know, by the way, Kaskar is on the YouTube right now with the aliens. Yes, I think we are. Poop, gotta run a tag. Hopefully, yeah. So I'll be here for like a good hour and a half, Kaskar, because this is a 15-minute video, but it's gonna be like an hour because I'm gonna be breaking down everything so you guys can understand it. But yeah, let's continue over here. So the interviewer, who I think works for the intelligence agency, has, and you know, they have the alien captured right in a room. To me, guys, this looks real. All right, I'll be frank. If you guys think it's CGI, that's your opinion. I don't know. Whatever. Right? All right, let's continue over here. So the intelligence officer asks the alien. Let's go ahead and go back a tad bit over here.
Thousands of light years to get here.
That it took thousands of light years to get here. Yes, because in essence, we understand now that time and space does not exist in the outside of Earth. It only exists on Earth. So once you step out of the atmosphere and the ozone layer, time is faster. There's some scientific stuff as to why, like time equals space, and then the whole thing with Einstein. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, time goes faster when you exit Earth's atmosphere, and what we use with the 24/7 hour system, you know, the system with the whole 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That whole charade is because that's how it operates here on Earth. But you go outside of Earth, and then it becomes now different. So if it took this alien 1,000 light years to get here, he's essentially coming from the future. Essentially, he's coming from the future, and actually, he does touch on that subject later on in the video. And this is why I think it's real, guys. I mean, of course, if you guys, you know, like I said again, if you guys are thinking, hey, you know what I'm saying, maybe the alien is fake, whatever. What I care about again is the message that this thing says. You know what I'm saying? Because even if it was made up by the government, then perhaps they're just putting the blame on a creature, on another human, or another being. I say human because later on in the video he will expose why it's a whole thing, man. Look, let's just continue to play the video. So it took him 1,000 light years to get here to Earth. Let's continue.
Thousands of light years to get here. Crash. Tell us the truth, or the word, or another reason. It is truth.
Now he's convinced the alien that it is the truth that it took him like 1,000 light years to get here. Now, these advanced beings have such a advanced setting of being able to fly. Look, man, if they're able to fly in space, you don't think they're going to be able to fly on Earth? And that's why they go deep down in the oceans in the Pacific every time, because that's where they're headquartered at. Yes, the aliens' headquarters are under the ocean, the caves, because they can breathe underwater. Or because maybe they have like a Sandy Cheeks style tree dome, like SpongeBob, where they let air out, and we just haven't gotten to that technology, or we do have it, but it's not given to us because they don't want us to do. Man, they keep us, guys. If you've never been to jail, which I don't recommend that you do, but in my past, I've done some things and mistakes. I've been in jail, and it's like exactly the same. But what it's called, it's living under the illusion of freedom. But you're not really free, man. You guys have never really truly been free. Americans, I think the last time you guys were free were like 200 years ago, bro. And that's coming from the honest truth, man. You guys have been living under an illusion of freedom, not the true freedom. But that's what we're trying to do over here. Expose the truth, expose the rats, the roaches, and they are scattering, and we're winning, and we're not losing, and they are the ones that are panicking, and we are gonna get to the bottom of the truth, and we are gonna make America great again, guys. All right, let's continue. If you guys haven't already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more of this stuff and news with comedy. Give it a like so more people can go ahead and see this video over here, because I think it's important. I think the message is very important. All right, and then leave a comment down below after I know this is a live stream. I got a live chat going. If you guys want to send in some comments right now, go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and read them. And after this video is done, it'll be pre-recorded and then put over here on the YouTubes so that we can go ahead and get the message out. And then let me know what you guys think about this whole alien stuff. But let's continue. So this creature is saying he's from Earth, from the future. Wow, that's a good one. To travel in time is to travel in space. And that's what I kept saying earlier is once you step out of the Earth's atmosphere, ozone layer, all that good stuff, essentially you're traveling in another, like a fifth dimensional way. I don't know how to explain it. I'd have to do more research on it. I know there's a new science coming out called quantum physics. It used to be just, normal physics, physiology. I don't know what it was called, but the normal kind of physics, right? And then this one came in, quantum physics. You got regular physics here on, rules and stuff like that that applies with law of gravity and stuff like that here on Earth. But then you got quantum physics, which is now physics of outer space. And the closer we get to learning about that stuff, the closer we're going to learning about these creatures over here, which, if you ask me, man, they're real. They're very real. They're just not ready to make contact with us because we're not going to be able to understand them. But they're preparing us in a way through cartoons and movies and TVs and songs and all that stuff and news articles and whatnot. And they're whole coming out with like 14 UFOs have been now seen at the U.S. Naval Base. And it's like they're preparing us for the incoming either or fake alien invasion or maybe the true alien invasion. We just don't know, guys. The only thing that I kind of can go on and backtrack on is the fact that why else would they be wasting their precious time on telling us and indoctrinating us essentially since birth about alien movies and cartoons and toys and things like that and like speculations and blah blah if it wasn't for a reason. And quite frankly, you know what I'm saying, like let them come, you know what I'm saying, let's talk to them. This one seems like a nice one. Perhaps you got some bad ones, just like just like every human being, animal, organism that lives. You got your good side and you got your bad side of things, you know what I'm saying? So but let's continue. So this alien over here, creature, is saying that to travel in time is to travel in space. Let's continue here.
So I take it aliens took over our future, right? So we're human.
So that's quite interesting what the alien says about it, about him being an evolutionary descendant of the human beings. And in the next clip, he's going to say the sapien kind. We are the Homo sapiens, guys. If you look at the last four civilizations, Mesopotamia, Africa, and all that stuff, where human civilization started from, you got the Neanderthals, you got other kinds of humans that were here on Earth way before us. I mean, we're just an evolution. We're just an evolutionized version of a past anterior human species. And if these things are from the future, it would make sense. If you look at it this way, like before, our ancestors used to have like, the big noses and the smaller head and the forehead, and then the broader shoulders and the arms, and they were more like because they had to scavenge for food and walk on terrain and go and run in the forest and things like that. They didn't even have shoes. But then we evolved into a way where now our brains are bigger, our noses have gotten smaller, our bodies have gotten more slim. Our bodies, some are muscular, but that's because they do gym and exercise and work out and all that good stuff. And so because of that, we've sort of evolutionized. So if this alien creature over here says that he is from the future and the way that things are going as far as human evolution goes, and there was a podcast that Joe Rogan did with some other people like George Knapp, I think, and stuff like that, and Bob Lazar and them, and says that if it looks like they're gonna be the descendants. They are the descendants of us because they got the bigger head, the eyes to look at night. Maybe the sun goes out in the future, like Bill Gates was planning. I don't know. Their bodies are slimmer than ours, so it does look like an evolutionary descendant of the people of today. That's all I'm saying. Like before, it used to be be different. Now we're here, and then in the future, we might look like that. I mean, just like we seen Mother Nature with the animals evolving, in different ways. Like you got the caterpillar and things like that, and then it evolves into a butterfly and things like that. So, perhaps it's just part of evolution, man. And if they are from the future, perhaps what we think about the future is we get into a freaking plate like in Stewie with Stewie Griffin and Brian in Family Guy, where they Stewie throws a plate or something on the ground and then it opens up, they climb on, and then like they transfer and teleport somewhere else. Well, it could probably be something like that. I'm thinking more like it's an actual object made of material metal, an advanced kind of metal that's not found on Earth, probably possibly in their own planet. They make the ingredients and all that stuff. They put it together and then they're able to travel that way. And by talking about like the future, they really just mean like traveling at a faster rate of speed on space, where time is different because of the how fast it's like, it's a vacuum. You're traveling in a vacuum, like you're not traveling on planet Earth essentially. So you're going in a different timeline, and that's the actual definition of what future is, and not really like what we see on cartoons and movies and things like that. But yeah, in a way, traveling through time could really be that exactly thing with traveling in a vacuum, right? But let's continue over here and see what the Mr. Alien says over here, Mr. E.T., Mr. Wally.
Okay, so you evolved from us. So what are you doing here now?
Right. Now that's a good one right there too, guys. And I know I'm pausing it too much, but this is important so you guys understand, because I have 15 years of research on this. It is known that the aliens come here to observe humanity, to see, to track the progress. Sometimes these UFOs and UAPs, guys, they're not even in them. They're manned alone. They're like drones essentially. Sometimes these UFOs don't even have anybody inside. They're just conducting it from, I don't know, like from underneath the caves on the ocean, and then or from the moon, like a freaking like an RC car, or a drone, right? So they do observe us. Perhaps it's to track human progress and where we're at with things, and how intelligent we're becoming or have become, and kind of like what differentiates us now from 100 years ago, and where they project that we could be at 100 years from now. So the rules of the universe are they cannot tell us what's gonna happen, because then it would be like, oh man, like opening a paradox, and then that makes another paradox, and then that creates another paradox. So just to not even get into all that nonsense, they cannot tell us what's going to happen, because they know what's going to happen. They're from the future, right? So by that logic, that means they know what's going to happen. And so what they're doing is they're instead observing so that maybe they can prevent something like that from happening. I don't know how. So let's just keep going with the video. And then evidence was destroyed, just like they're doing right now with like Aunt Jemima and all these, black figures from cereal boxes or syrups and butters, like Land O'Lakes with the Indian woman. That's essentially erasing history, erasing textbooks in classes about the past, and instead putting in stuff like critical race theory and BLM stuff, and George Floyd as was like a war hero. And that's crazy, guys. And that's what we cannot allow or afford to do with we the people's children, because they are the ones that are gonna eventually be affected. We'll be like 90 years old and we're gonna die off and turn into dust, right? So we're gonna die off, turn into dust, and we're not gonna matter anymore. But it's gonna be our children's children who are gonna suffer. That's why we have to fight hard and fight now. If we don't fight hard now, then it's all over, guys. And we might as well just call it quits right now and just wait until the asteroid comes to Earth, right? Because there's still a chance, right? So if you guys don't want an asteroid to hit Earth, I'm just saying, let's buckle up and put our bootstraps on and fight the good fight, man. Perhaps these creatures are trying to help us along. Who knows? But let's continue.
How?
Nuclear war. And what has been happening lately? What has been the wars? What is the war? What is the scariest war that the humanity can suffer? A nuclear war. Nagasaki, Hiroshima. You got over in Russia, Chernobyl. That was a plant that exploded, and that was just a plant, an energy plant. Imagine like the chaos that a nuclear war could set off. Well, you're essentially talking about like the depletion of humanity at that point. I mean, few survivors, maybe give or take, like, if the population right now is 7.5 billion people on Earth, I mean, you're probably talking about somewhere in the range of like 500,000 people on Earth, which is what Georgia Guidestones say. I live in Georgia. I've been to Elmer, and I visited the Georgia Guidestone with my wife. And they're huge. They're huge. They're huge, folks. These things are huge, huge. And they have a lot of writing in them in different languages, and it's kind of saying like there's also a box. Nobody talks about the damn box. There's a box. Okay, if you guys have done interview or not interview, you guys have done like your research on the Georgia Guidestones. There's a box that is locked with a key. I don't know who has the key. Maybe the mayor has the key. I think it says who has the key. I'm not sure. I forgot, but I have the pictures. There's a box that is like a vault that needs a key made out of steel or concrete with letters on it. Forgot what it says, but it's instructions. Like, open up the box when the thing happens. I don't know what thing they're talking about, but I think they know what they're talking about. All right, so there's a key that opens up this box. I don't know what the hell he has inside. I don't know if it's a guide, another manual. I don't know if there's like some survivor tools or a gun or something like that. I don't know if there's, what I'm saying, like a Twinkie in there. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps, I don't know, right? But it's intriguing, and nobody talks about the damn box. There's a box, a vault in the Georgia Guidestones, under like by the Guidestones. There's a box, a secret box. If you guys have never been there before, check it out. There's a box. Let's continue over here. Let me restart it just from the beginning. I've been talking in between the Mr. Alien over here for every sentence that he says, but you guys must understand why. Now that you guys have an idea, let me restart it from the beginning over here so you guys can listen.
State on origin? Okay, yesterday you told us you traveled, and I quote, thousands of light years to get here. Yes. Tell us the truth or the word or another reason. It is truth. I thought it off from your future. The truth is all. Is the truth in space. If it's machine delusions. So I take it aliens took over our future, right? So you're human. Okay, so you evolved from us. Yes. So what are you doing here now? Observing. Since our energy is destroyed. How? Now. Love. Speak of which word. Now, there's a story. Okay, so how about we concentrate on your time?
That is true, folks. That's something how I was dwelling in, and I'm sorry to interrupt again. I said I was gonna break it down for you guys so you guys can understand. we just don't understand their timeline. It's almost like if we got a glimpse of it, we might end up in the psychiatrist office taking like 10 different kinds of pills just to ease our brains down. See, think of your brain right now as like Windows. This is just an example. Put your computer as a processing system, right? An operating system, and pretend that your brain right now is running off Windows 98. Well, this alien's brain is running on a Windows that might not even exist in the year 3000. There might be some other, maybe Apple or some other company that ends up being taking over the conglomeracy of the internet stuff. And he's running on that chip. It might not even be a chip. It might just be like some sort of like liquid implant in your brain that goes down your spine liquid or something, right? I don't know, guys. With like little tiny, bits of mechanical wear with signals and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just making crap up right now in my brain from too many sci-fi movies and TV shows. But it could be real, and I believe it could be real. So how are we able to obtain that kind of information that he would say? We would just not. We would end up toasted in the brain because we'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Because we're operating off Windows 98 processing system. This dude's running on 1,000 light years of technology and more advanced than us. So it's like it'll be like we wouldn't be able to handle that kind of information or knowledge, So we just have to stick with what we know, with what we have, and make the best of use of it. So let's continue.
tyranny, what is the universe? The control of
And I would love to know it, but sometimes you just gotta be careful what you wish for, guys. You know, I've almost turned crazy a few times because I've dealt so deep into this stuff, especially while I was under the influence of other kinds of drugs in the like last year or 2 years ago, right? And I'd be like, you know, and then I'd be like, oh man, like, ooh, what's what I'm saying, what's out there and this and that or whatever. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The important thing is, if you want, what I'm saying, sometimes knowledge is better. Just maybe that's why the whole thing with Adam and Eve and the tree of apple and the snake, and then they found out that they were naked. They realized it because the sin had entered. And maybe this is, what I'm saying, like, I'm just saying, like, I was able to control it. Now what I'm saying, like, I've mastered the art of certain things. So it's like, but if you guys want to know, like, some stuff about the universe, well, maybe it's time. I don't know, you know? Mm, Perhaps you guys want to know some more things. It's not just about elections and news. There's some other stuff out there that you guys should know about.
wait, so you know the meaning of life?
That's very important. A lot of people always ask, if you were to die right now and come back to Earth to tell a story of what happened after you died, for like 5 minutes, and you saw Jesus or your angels or whatever, what would you ask him or them? Like the angels and stuff, and they would say, "What is the meaning of life?" And it's like I don't think that's the important question that I would ask. I would probably just ask like, when's my next mission, right? And you guys wouldn't even understand why I'm even saying it like that. Like, man, that it gets deep, guys. But the alien is right over here. Not the meaning is not what matters. Screw the meaning. It's the nature of life. Why it is why is there trees? Why is there birds? Why do we have air? Why are we able to create fire and cook with it? Like, what is the nature of life? That's the real question.
What's the difference?
And I couldn't agree with Mr. Wally more than with this sentence right here. Nature is definitely an objective reality. Nature by itself, you can only see it with your eyes, right? We only have the five senses: touch, hear, smell, listen, smell, taste, and hear, and talk, and all that. The five senses, right? And so we are only able to observe an object reality in front of us. So what we touch, and what we drink, and what we taste, and what we hear going down the swish, and what we can see is the five senses, and that's all we can do. There might be more objects around us that we cannot see, because we do not have others developed senses in our bodies that we might have at a later future, that perhaps Mr. Wally Alien here knows about that we don't yet, because don't have more than five senses in our bodies that are able to look at other things that humanity right now cannot, right? So he's talking about nature, the objective reality of this realm. I guess you could say Earth, right? Let's continue.
So you know how the universe is created? Yes. So you think God?
This is where I have to disagree with Mr. Alien, because a lot okay, if there's one thing that you guys haven't known yet, this guy looks like he's one of those alien greys. An alien gray is a half organic, half AI robot that aliens from another dimension and another planet use, which a lot of people, folks know about. I know about. I mean, it's no secret. It's out there, right? He looks like one of those. So we don't even know if this guy is really like a descendant from humans, like he claims, or if he's just another old organic, half AI. Well, maybe he was being truthful when he said he's a descendant from us, because he is half organic, which is the human side. But then the alien technological side is the AI side, which is Elon Musk's Neuralink, the chip in the monkey with the brain moving things with the brain. Bill Gates, Bill Gates, Bill Gates, Bill Gates, Bill Gates. Have you guys seen that video? It's funny, but not funny is that this could very well be a descendant from humans with a half AI side, which is the whole stuff with the microchips and the vaccines and the COVIDs and the 19s and the stuff like that, and then the magnet on the skin when it's poked, and then the 5G and everything, and then we're gonna be a descendant of Mr. Alien because they're essentially trying to turn us into the Terminator. Get down again, Cecilia. All right, but for real, guys, talking over here about, what I'm saying, pretty much bringing down God, which we all know exists. Talking about we've evolved past the need for superstition, says Mr. Alien. Mr. Alien, I got news for you, bro. If I think what I think what you are, then obviously a fallen angel, then obviously you are not gonna believe in God, or you do when you're just trying to, misinform humanity. But let's continue and let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Take this as you may, grain of sand. Just listen. You don't have to take this guy for, what I'm saying. For all we know, I'm saying, this is just misinformation being spread and created by alphabet agencies that run government. We don't know, right? But anyways, over here, Mr. Alien talking about God doesn't exist. Well, I got news for you, buddy. He does exist, and he's done miracles in my life, for me personally, and other people, and my loved ones. Let's continue the tape.
Okay, illuminate us.
Ah, what a choice of words. Illuminate us. Illuminati. Illuminate. Yeah.
What happens when we die?
Oh, boy. I have to agree with Mr. Alien. Hear me out. Oh, man, this is kind of crazy. See, because of all the knowledge and research that I've done in the past 15 years, death is a human construct. What does Mr. Wally mean that death is a human construct? I will tell you what this means. There, death does not exist. Mr. Alien will say that in the next few clips, that death does not exist. Okay, why does death not exist? Because essentially, Kaskar says, and back on one sense like in equal common, one sense like in common. Can you elaborate on that, Kaskar? I'm not sure what that comment meant. I might be drinking too much Bacardi or something, but let me know what you mean by that. But death is a human construct because only humans interpret death as death, when in reality, when your physical body, this vessel, this skin suit that rots away after 100 years and dies off and goes back into the ground and gets eaten by the worms and all that stuff and the maggots. What lives on is your consciousness, also called your memory, your entire record of your life, of even past lives, that you have lived before, if you have, or if you're a new incarnate, then you've incarnated into a new soul. So and then you go on to your. That's why I was saying earlier. You go on to your next mission. Your next mission is the question you should ask Jesus when you die. Not no. What is the meaning of life? The meaning of life is to exist, plain and simple, guys. What's the opposite of that? It's death. It's eternal. No life, locked in a box in darkness, with your consciousness in that little box, and you can't do anything like exist, such as get into an adventure in another world or realm. This is Earth. There might be there's like over 1,000 million gazillion tillion universes holding other planets with life. That the theme is very different. This one is like focused on politics and stuff, and other planets and stuff like that might be focused on other things, that are not like, perhaps trying to catch, butterflies in the air or in the ocean. I don't know, crazy stuff like that. I don't know. See, we don't even have the capacity for that. But yeah, death is a human construct by the definition, because death is an illusion. People think that when you die, and that you don't go anywhere else. I mean, you're gonna go somewhere. You're gonna end up somewhere as a ghost, or seeing or at the gates of heaven, or maybe you're gonna be living in an island, like much like when we dream at night and we sleep for like 12 hours, and then we wake up and we're like, man, I want to go back to that dream and hop on it. I was living like in a good life. Perhaps that's just another parallel universe life that we're living that we're not aware of, and maybe in that life, in that parallel universe, that same you is dreaming about you in this life, that what we're doing now is actually real life, but maybe it's just a dream. You see how deep I'm going down the rabbit hole? Let's continue the video. This is a good one, guys. If you guys don't know why Mr. Alien is saying that, listen to this. That's why death is a construct of the human knowledge, because the only thing that separates us from the next life is death. And why is it that they get to see us over here, but we can't see them? Because maybe we don't understand it. And once we do, perhaps then we can move on in the process. And in this same Earth, maybe, I don't know, in this decade, who knows, right? Some new information coming.
Okay, so let me get this straight. There's no death, and we all experience each other's lives, right?
That is true. In the research that I have done in over 15 years, if you guys are just joining in, welcome. This is if you have, it's better if you just watch this after it's been streamed, and watch it from the beginning, because it's very important that you guys start from the beginning, not right now. But if you want to listen, go ahead. But I recommend, if you're just joining in, make sure you guys, start from the beginning. But as far as have we all experienced each other's lives, what does it mean by that? Well, I'll tell you this one thing. I have read articles, and I have personally known like one or two guys that have essentially, I guess you could say, died on their medical operation or something like that, and have came back to life after 3 or 5 minutes, where they say they have jumped and bounced from person to person, experiencing each other's lives, what they feel inside, as a black man, as a white man, as an Asian man, as a fat woman, as a skinny guy, as a tall person, as a short person, what it feels like to be handicapped, what it feels like. And essentially we're all one in the same, and the same in the one, connected in a special way, you could say, that we just don't know about, because there's this two choices where you get to live like an individual or as a collective. I guess this is the realm of living as an individual and not as a collective, but we can be a collective if we fight back against the tyrannical government. Let's continue. So do we all experience each other's lives? Yes, we do. Perhaps when we die, we can choose to live in someone's body for a while, not in a possession sort of way, not like possessed, but like piggybacking off the back without them knowing. I don't know, like a spirit, orbs. I don't know. Perhaps, maybe that's one of the choices. There's so many things that can happen after death. Perhaps what the soul wants. Perhaps what the soul wants. Let's continue.
Okay, so how was the universe created, and why is it so perfectly made for us?
That's what I was saying earlier, guys. There's an infinite number of universes, a gazillion, billion, tillion universes. So how do we know, like, and I hate it when people say that we're the only life source, or we're the only ones here in the. Come on, don't give me that crap, man. Don't give me that crap, man, or we're gonna have a problem, man. Okay? If you're saying that we're the only ones here on Earth, that's like the same telling me that we're on an island stuck alone, man. And I don't want to deal with your annoying butt, man. So we're gonna have to call it what we're gonna have to call it, man. Okay? I wanna believe in the aliens, man. I do. I like the aliens. The nice little green man, the guy with the big head, the big eyes. You got the little body. You got the little flying stuff in the air, man. I want the aliens, bro. They're my friends, man. All right, let's continue. So now I disagree with Mr. Alien, and he's lying to us so that we don't go to the Mars, like what Elon Musk is trying to do, and Jeff Bezos, of exploring other planets. They don't want us to leave Earth. These mother flippers are trying to keep us enslaved over here. He's probably working for the FBI right now. What's his name? Mr. Alien Wally? Let me see your alien number. Show me your papers, mother flipper. Yeah, are you allowed to be in the United States? Are you a citizen? Did you vote for Biden? I bet you did. All right. Over here talking about there's 1,000 over here contradicting himself. The alien is contradicting himself. There's 1,000 million gazillion lives in other planets, but they cannot sustain life as you know it. Come on, man. Look, okay, but I do agree with him. Humans do tend to ruin stuff, and I believe that if the alien told the U.S. government that there's life in other planets, they will go over there in the name of freedom and get whatever the hell they have. We come to liberate you. He just contradicted himself again. Mr. Alien Man, you just contradicted yourself again. You just said that you come from a planet that does not support life. So how are you alive? You're supposed to be an Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. We were just talking about how he's half organic and half artificial intelligence, 50-50. So he doesn't have a nose, so he doesn't have to breathe. Okay, the eyes, they're for seeing at night. That's like an advanced sort of like a night vision goggle. I don't know. Maybe this is half organic and half artificial intelligence from the future, descendant from humans. So far, this is what I'm only 3 minutes and 31 seconds into the video, and it's 14 minutes and 24 seconds. But every breakdown of this is very important because it's the message that matters, guys. And there's some truth to it, and there's some lies, but there's more truth I'm seeing than there are lies. By the way, Jim Bob, welcome to the show, brother. Jim Bob says The Watchers. Yes, I've seen that movie. It's crazy, man. Some people don't understand Catholicism because they don't read. I was raised Catholic, but here's the thing with Catholicism. And I'll turn the video back on. I'm just gonna reply over here to Jim Bob. He's a good loyal subscriber over here and a good friend through the virtual networks, of course. But over here, Jim Bob says, I was raised Catholic. For the most part, Latinos in South and Central America are raised Catholic, and then a majority end up converting into either atheist or Christian. And I'm one of the ones that turned into Christian. I was never an atheist. I always knew there was a God, but I never placed the blame on him. You know what I'm saying? Things that happen in life is one's own choices and one's own, based on one's own merits. You can't place the blame of your life onto another entity or object or anyone. You gotta own up to your mistakes and know that, like your own mess ups, don't necessarily mean that now there is no other stuff that exists, because that's just plain dumb, right? That's like saying, hey man, I don't believe in my parents because we had a fight or whatever, we had an argument, or you guys get my point, right? The thing, man. Come on, man. All right, look. But yeah, Jim Bob, I was raised Catholic, and I am a Christian for about like 6-7 years. I'm not a Christian. I'm gonna say a hard-on Christian. Oh wow, that was not a good choice of words right there. All right, look, I'm not like a full-on Christian, right? But I'm trying to wean off my past life. You know, I come from the streets, man. You know, I was raised like in 28 years that I have, I was raised in the streets of Miami. All my life I was like hanging out with the wrong crowd, doing stuff. You know, it's been like 5 6 years, and I'm still weaning off of that. Yeah. Anyways, let's continue over here with the video. But yeah, Jim Bob, I'm now like spiritual, and I believe in God and Jesus and all that. Uh, my way, I know, and then Cascar, I know to try to convince us with visuals, so we buy into this crapola. Talking about crapola, they have capicola is really good ham for the sandwiches. And to pick up on that, yeah, the whole graphics and the visuals to convince us to buy into the crap. And now they whip out with the 14 UFOs because Arizona's closing in on the ballots, and then you got over here Georgia. The judge just recently had to back away from the thing with the because he got like 90 motions yesterday. It's crazy. I'm gonna make a video about that later on today. But wow, like the whole thing here in Georgia right now with Georgia Romero and what's going on with the man, it's crazy, man. And like they don't want it. They're already lawyering up in Philadelphia with criminal defense lawyers in one side, which is the side that has been caught on tape, pretty much like elaborating on how they managed to take over this November thingy when it was really supposed to be 45 that had won clean swift in a landslide. But let's go ahead and continue over here with the video, guys. So we're on the part where apparently the alien is saying that where he comes from, he doesn't support life, which has to be false. But I don't know because he's half AI, half human. It's crazy, man. I don't know. Maybe they don't need breathing over there. Fuck, I don't know. Let's continue. So maybe the only way that does support life is by becoming an AI, half organic, half alien technology, human being. Ding 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 ding.
Okay, so why do we destroy ourselves with nuclear war?
Dogma. Before we let me just pause it right there because a lot of you guys don't know what dogma means. I'm one of the ones that didn't know what dogma meant. I had an idea, but I didn't know the full definition of it. I know it has something to do with like a certain pattern or something like a certain belief or doctrine. But let's go ahead and go to the Webster's Dictionary and find out what dogma means. Because in order to understand the message that Mr. Wally is giving over here, we got to find out why, why he says dogma. Why did dogma, make way for a nuclear war? Dogma. Dogma means something held as an established opinion. Wow, that reminds me a lot of what the Democrat left, MSM, mainstream media, and all those other left-leaning stuff in corporate woke corporations do, like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is making me barf just at the thought of it. Have been doing. It reminds me of that, something held as an established opinion. So basically, the established opinion of the left narrative that if it doesn't fit the narrative, then they are doing dogma. An example, especially a definite authoritative tenet. So again, a point of view or tenet put forth as authoritative without adequate grounds, which is what they say about like there's more than two genders. They're given an authoritative tenet without adequate grounds of like factual proof that there are more than two genders, like what they claim are when there's really just men and women. That's just one example. And that's what dogma means. So what Mr. Alien is saying here, that the reason why we're gonna go into a nuclear war between ourselves in humanity is because of a dogma. What's the dogma? Let's find out what Mr. Wally says is a dogma.
Can you be more specific, please?
Wow, guys. And Kaskar just said, it's all politics. My friend, you are correct. Bing, 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 bong, bing, bong, bong, bing, bong. You hit it on the nail, my friend. Political and religious dogma is the winner. Alex, can I get 500 for what is dogma? Of course, my friend. All right. Oh, what is political and religious dogma? Ding, ding, ding. You win. Political and religious dogma is what will take us to a nuclear war. And what is happening right now with in 2021 with the whole thing since last year with the whole Jabula and the whole what and the whole with the mask and the muzzle and the stuff and the politics with the little FRAUD and the whole thing, what they did. And now it's being found out and it's coming into light. Political and religious dogma. So that's a message right there that is can we can say that it's factual, becoming fruitful, has been fruitful, is fruitful, and can come to pass. When, I don't know, but let's continue to read here with Mr. Alien Wally. And honestly, we can say that I'll agree with Mr. Alien. Politics and religion is the root of all major conflict with humanity. I can't think how long for, perhaps over the last 2,000, 5,000 years, we have been involved into a conflict of just pure political crap. But it is the major conflict that continues to, like what happened right now with Israel and Palestine. That's a religious dogma. Because of that dogma, like what Mr. Wally said here, is part of why they sent rockets. Gaza Strip, the whole thing with Palestine sending rockets over to Israel and then Iron Dome. That's part of a political and religious dogma, two in one. Bird. And that's why they sent out rockets, and stuff like that. And wow, Mr. Alien has been right so far. Let's continue. Whoa, let me go ahead and play that back one more time. Because we need to hear that again, folks. We need to hear that again. In the next century, again, this was filmed in 1964. Just for a little math, if you guys don't know, 1964 to 2024 marks 64, 74, 84, 94, 04, 2014, 2024. It'll mark 60 years. So Mr. Wally here saying that in the next century, and this was filmed in 1964. The interview was 1964. It's about to be 60 years. We're 3 years away from it being 2024, which would mark 60 years. So Mr. Wally says in the next century. So there are states that have the capacity and are holding nuclear weapons of mass destruction that are ruled by dogma, aka politics and religion. So just to put a few examples, politics, we can say California, Democrats, New York, Democrats, Wisconsin, Democrats. Not by choice, of course. This is forced on to the people, forced on by dirty government. That's why here in the 13 colonies we are prideful and in what we do because we keep our word. Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. She's a swamp. So, you got all these rules that are Democrat ran, that are ruled by dogma with weapons of mass destruction. Let's continue. That will destroy our species. So now Mr. Wall is telling us that all these Democrat ran states apparently hold some sort of WPM, weapon of, WMDs. These Democrat ran states, CA, NY, WI, MI, OH, perhaps even WA, up there by OR, that are holding to WMDs that could wipe us all out. And guess who's paying? And then guess who owns those states? Bing bong bing bang bing chalabala bing bam boom bam bam. That's who. So Mr. Wally is our friend so far, as he's been telling us in secrecy, essentially, the steps that are being taken to achieve that, but not by us or for us, but for them who want to rule over.
Okay, one last thing. What about morality? What are you basing your morality on?
Good question. That's a personal one. Asking Mr. Wally what morality they base themselves on. Morality means your natural compass that you lead your values, ethics, and morals on. And for the majority of the time, it's us humans that rely on a good moral compass, like those who believe in Christianity and stuff like that. They base their moral compass on Jesus, which is the message is to lead a good life and path and love everyone and be fruitful and this and that and listen to the Ten Commandments and follow this sort of rules and guides and stuff like that, right? So that's what it is. So what do these aliens, what does Mr. Wally and his family and friends base their morality on? Let's find out. Okay, that's what I have a little problem with. Us humans do not need evidence. I mean, if you disagree with me, let me know. Write a comment. Let me know. Cascar, Jim Bob. Let me know what you guys think about Mr. Wally over here saying that that they base themselves on their morality on compassion, which we also do. But one thing that I don't personally do is base it on evidence. I don't need evidence to tell me to be good. Like, seeing a poster at at a store, a retail store, and where it says like help your fellow neighbor, and then I'm gonna be like, yes, I am gonna help my fellow neighbor because an advertisement said it on a poster wall in a mall. No, I don't need evidence to do that. That's what something that has to be programmed to be teachable does. Again, half artificial intelligence, half organic species over here, descendant from we, mixed with technology. Elon Musk, Neuralink, right? I'm not saying anything. And that's that part where it has to be teachable, right? It's the evidence. We don't need evidence as human beings. All we need is just the one thing he said: compassion. His compassion comes from the half organic side of the descendant of we humans. So far, what we're seeing is that this guy is telling us pretty much a lot of truth, right, Mr. Wally over here. Whether it's a CGI or a real Mr. Wally, you know what I'm saying? It's the message that's important, right? Hey, Whisper, welcome to the show, my friend. It's like I was saying earlier to Mr. Jim Bob and Cascar and them. It's better to watch the show once it's been pre-recorded, so I can put it on YouTube later. And so you guys have to watch it from the beginning to understand exactly the message from Mr. Wally over here, Mr. Alien over here, right? There's a lot of truth to this stuff. There's some stuff that are like, questionable that I'm breaking down. But for the most part, it has been truthful. And like I was saying, the teachable part of the artificial intelligence part of this guy is that he needs evidence to be a good person. But he has one thing that we share in common, which is compassion. So in the event that they do invade, right, or come and visit us and finally make themselves known, they will at least have that 50% compassion that we share with them as humans, since they are descendants, but from the future, that can ultimately, like, if they can overpower us through their minds or something, or with technology that we don't know about and have, then at least they will be compassionate enough to feel what we're feeling. Maybe they can read our feelings, and maybe they know who the bad guys are and who the good guys are, in a crazy way like that. And that could be useful. But the important thing is, are these will the majority be good or bad? That's the thing, because in every side you have good and bad. Even the gods, even the masters, and everybody, even the worlds and planets are both good and bad. It's yin yang, the nature of balance, black and white, dark and light. God and Jesus and all that stuff, or Satan and God and all that. It's the human nature of life, the animal kingdom, all that stuff, everywhere. So this alien over here is apparently 50% organic and 50% inorganic, aka artificial intelligence. But at least it would be saved. So maybe, if you're not a good human right now, I'd suggest you start practicing. Kaskar, question from Kaskar says, I define, or not question, but like a statement. I define morals are society rights and are enforceable. It's ethics that is personal and not enforceable. Yes, exactly. I mean, you're gonna have your people that are just gonna be good and bad. I mean, it's just, I think that's what you're saying. I mean, you know what I'm saying. You just can't place your, you know what I'm saying, like the Uyghurs in China, right? Just because they believe in a set of things doesn't mean that you're gonna have to lock them up and everything. So maybe the Chinese are the real aliens. You know, who knows? Maybe. I know for a fact that they have different DNA than the rest of humanity. And if you don't know that, Google it. Chinese people have a different DNA makeup than the rest of humanity. I'm not lying. Look it up. Let's continue with Mr. Wally.
I see. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
All right. Looks like there's a message over here. It says, "Whoops, you went a little too fast. 430. This is one of several 16 millimeter film reels discovered in an undisclosed government location. It is digitized in HD to preserve its original quality and presented in its raw and unedited form." I love it. I love it. I love it, guys. It's like I've said in every video. I present my videos on raw, unedited, cut. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I give it to you guys raw, right? And then I give it to you guys unedited, uncensored, all live in real time. It is 6:43 p.m. right now, and if you guys don't believe me, it's right here on the corner, on the bottom. Because I don't mess around with all that animation stuff. I don't have time for that. I'm a working man. I'm a husband. I'm a father, and I gotta do stuff, right? So I just give it to you guys raw, right? I just leave the message out there for you guys, so you guys can listen and learn some things, right? And this is, I'm an old school guy. I don't, what I'm saying, I believe, what I'm saying, I liked my news back in the day, how they did it, with the bloopers included, right? So, all right, so this is the video right here. Boom. Boom. The new, apparently updated version. And I guess when they ask why if the alien can speak, Mr. Wally, is because, but for a short while, I guess, because technically aliens, Mr. Wally is supposed to be communicating with telepathy. Let's be clear on that. So I know for a fact that these creatures can communicate with us humans. I've had some personal experiences where they can communicate with us through telepathy, but perhaps you have to be a certain kind of human being to even be able to receive the message through telepathy. I'm not sure. But yeah, they can also speak English. It's the universal language. And of course, they're supposed to be a smarter, advanced being. So if they don't speak English, then maybe they're not so smart, and what the hell are they doing? And then, perhaps this whole video would be faked. But so far, the video has been proven to be correct for the most part. 75%, 35% fake. But for the most part, 75% truth. As far as in regards to the message. Let's continue.
Are you scared of me? Because you should be. Okay, so you say...
Look at that. Like they're applying. Look how evil this government is. That they're applying types of torture, like what they do in Guantanamo to terrorists and stuff like that, with the waterboarding, and then with the beating up and stuff like that, and the whipping. They're essentially over here having the alien, Mr. Wally, with his hands up, probably attached to some chains or ropes, so that he cannot move. And I'm just like, man, this guy can control you with probably his mind, and you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think tying him up like that won't do anything. I'm just assuming. I don't know. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. But so far, his arms are being held by like something, maybe some rope or some chains. I'm not quite sure. He's on a chair sitting, but they're applying the same torture technical tactics that they do with terrorists in Guantanamo and things like that. So let's go ahead and continue.
Say you're from the future and an evolutionary descendant of humans.
That's so far.
You also say you're a different species. So which one is it?
And I think it's the AI part, and I think that's what he doesn't understand. The intelligent officer does not understand that this guy, this Mr. Wally here, is 50% organic, human descendant from us, and his 50% side of the other is advanced alien technology, like microchipping and stuff like that.
Are you a descendant of humans or not?
Mr. Wally just said that they are a descendant of we human sapiens, but that they can no longer breed with our kind. In the Bible, it does say that God, Jesus, told us about, or somebody in the Bible, I don't know if it was Matthew or John or Paul or Samuel or somebody in the Bible that said that something about the Nephilims, the sons of gods and daughters of men, right? That's what they in the back in the day said, that they were aliens. They were giants, 9, 10 feet tall, and they bred, and they were like the fallen angels of gods, Anunnaki and stuff like that. And then they bred with the sons of men, or I mean the daughters of men, which would be us humans. And then the offspring were this there were this stuff where it was like, you know, a mix of a creation of something that does not belong here on Earth, and then it had to be reset and wiped out in order for things to go back to normal, I think. So Mr. Wall is not explaining why they can no longer breed with us humans, but who gave the orders to Mr. Wally that said he couldn't. Perhaps this is in connection, related to the story in the Bible about the sons of men and the daughters, no, the sons of gods and the daughters of men. And that's another point for Mr. Wally. Right now, Mr. Wally got about 4 or 5 points in this match against humanity, down to probably 1 or 2. So Mr. Wally has been right for the most part right now. Wow, that was crazy what just happened. If you guys saw that, I'm all good. All right, let's continue here. Mr. Wally says that therefore they are a new species, and I believe that you're saying that they are a new species because, again, he's not disclosing the fact that we know that Elon Musk is trying to, saying develop microchips and stuff like that to put into human brains. That's what separates us from our God, the ones who created us with clay in the heavens and things like that. So Mr. Wally is right over here, but he's not talking truth either. That's what makes me think he's a gray alien. He is a gray alien. He's half organic, half artificial intelligence, and that is why. And guys, man, I don't know, man. Look, I'm telling you, if humanity in the future comes to be this, I'm just gonna be glad to God that I was born in this century. Because this is an ugly mother flipper. This is one ugly mother hugger. This guy got a big ass cranium. He looked like, you know what I'm saying. He looks weak like some soy boy, which is why they're probably trying to feed our military men and young men in America with soy, so they look like this thing over here. It's not even powerful or strong. Got some big ass old bug eyes, and got no nose because he don't need a nose. Well, I love having a nose so I can smell my Bacardi before I take a swish, right? And I love to smell the plants, a certain kind, if you know what I mean. And a little ass mouth looking like some white boy over here, old soy boy ass. All right, guys, let's get serious. Let's let's continue with the video over here.
Then how do you know English?
Why does Mr. Wally speak English, and how does he know the language of English?
Answer me. If you don't answer, I'll administer another round of Scorpoli until your system collapses. Do you understand? Now, how do you speak?
Damn, that's messed up, guys. Did you see his reaction? Did you see Mr. Wally's reaction? How sad he was. That hurt me in the feels, guys. And I think that was his 50% organic side. Where the interrogator over here, the torturer, let's be honest, not the interviewer, not the guy who's asking him questions, not the interrogator, the torturer that's asking him questions is over here threatening him with, give us the information or we're going to give you some doses of scopolamine, whatever the hell that is. I guess something that hurts them. I don't know. And the fact of the matter that, just look at his expression and rewind it at 10 seconds. Look at it.
I'll administer another round of Scorpoli until your system collapses. Do you understand? Now, how do you...
Man, either Hollywood is really good playing with our emotions and they're involved in socks and in bed with the government and they're perpetrating this whole mother flipping stuff that, you know what I'm saying, like just to get to our psyche I mean, it's getting to my psyche. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like it's getting to my psyche, guys. I mean, you know what I'm saying? What a poor little Mr. Wally, man. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got nothing to do with nothing, man. Maybe this is the government that, you know what I'm saying, that they've tricked us. They fooled us, guys. We have to wake up from the matrix. Red pill. Neo, you've been asleep for so long. Let's continue with the video here. How does he know English? How does Mr. Wally know English?
You speak English.
Well, I mean, that's just clear as day, guys. I mean, obviously, right? Obviously, he has to learn English. If not, get the hell out of America. Hey, they even made Mr. Wally learn English to come to America, but the aliens that are crossing over, that are coming in illegally, don't even have to qualify of speaking English to be here in America. Even these otherworldly beings from Mars have to learn English before they come to America. Ochale way.
So you just picked up English, just like that. Because you're so smart, right?
Man, this ignorant ass intelligence torturer officer.
Right. So, you said you know the origin of the universe, but you did not provide an explanation. So I ask you again, how was the universe created?
That's what I was just saying earlier, guys, that we have again, our brains are running Windows 98, just like Mr. Wally says here. We don't have the maturity yet, the evolved mentality to even comprehend merely the truth of existence. If you want to fight me on this, go ahead, leave a comment down below, write it in the chat right now. I'm live. And let me know, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Could it be true that we just don't have the capacity to even comprehend merely a tiny 0.001 megabit, kilobit of information onto what they know, that could potentially just like blow our brains out itself, imploding with smoke coming out the ears, just because it's like so advanced that it's like we just don't know. And even though we would like to know the truth of existence and how the universe was created, perhaps it's just better left off to another lifetime, and another time from here. Maybe maybe we shouldn't worry about it too much. Is what I'm saying. When we have like stuff like whales and sharks and dolphins that are still out there that we don't even know much about. What I'm saying, that we could study on and research and things like that, and not really this speculation, right? Which could be true, which it has been more than 75% truth so far. But if it's gonna drive you mad, then just take a chili pill, man.
Answer the question.
What do you mean the universe was not created? So what the hell was it? Put on a dish, like some food or something? What was it? Decorated with a pencil? Did some 12-year-old do the universe? What was it? Just a splatter on the wall while you were taking a shower, Mr. Wally? What was it? Was it just a splatter of shampoo? Is that what the universe is? What the universe is? Mother hugger. But let's go ahead and continue.
Really? But you can't create something out of nothing.
Exactly, contradicting yourself, but you cannot create something out of itself. Let me see. Let's rewind it back 6:45 to the 6:35 mark, just to comprehend again what Mr. Wally says.
Really? But you can't create something out of nothing.
But you can now create something out of nothing. Again, guys, listen. You cannot create something out of nothing. Then Mr. Wally says that is correct.
So there it is. Only a creator can make something from nothing.
Only a creator can make something from nothing. Only God can create us from nothing. Okay, that's so over here they're confirming only a creator. The torturer and Mr. Wally, a human and an advanced human, half AI, is confirming that indeed only a creator can make something from nothing, aka only God can create humans, souls, spirits, memories, consciousness, wisdom, knowledge, happiness, love. Not this other thing over here that needs evidence to be a good species, but also relies on compassion, which is 50%. So you got half and half. So in the end, when they do show up, I think it's gonna be up to us to train them how to be 100% full compassionate human beings, since they are descendants. So we can teach them how to be 100%. They'll always have the AI side, but we can reprogram that to make them behave. Let's continue. Wait a minute, that is incorrect. So I was just assuming, again, talking out of my ass. Let's rewind it back to 645. Torturer was saying a statement, but Mr. Wally disagreed. Let's hear it.
Here it is. Only a creator can make something from nothing.
Right, that's what we just talked about. Only a creator can make something from nothing, which is God. So Mr. Wally is saying that that is incorrect. That is incorrect. So that means that now he's going against the Lord Almighty, which is why you wonder why these things are 50% AI and 50% compassionate human descendants, because while they understand one side of us, they are completely aberrant and ignorant to the other side, which is their close father, the God that created us, that they have more relationship stuff or more, these things, they've known God even before we did. These things have a relationship with the Almighty upstairs that we don't even comprehend. And I think also in the Bible it's mentioned something like that, like the God has had a relationship with Lucifer for also longer than us. He was his closest, like advisor and right wing man. With that, we don't even have that kind of relationship with him. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a personal battle between them and God. All I know is that they're taking it out on us, and I don't accept it. And we're gonna have to go ahead and we're gonna have to handle business, man. Okay, because if the aliens, okay, they come, in the little ship, and they say, hey, man, let's talk. I'm gonna be like, let's talk, bro. Yeah, well, let's talk, man. But first, let me whip out the thingy, bro, because you know what I'm saying. I know you got personal beef with the good guy. You know what I'm saying, with the good father, man. You know what I'm saying. We good pop, right? But don't bring this war to us, man. Don't take it out on me, man. Okay, I just wanna live. I got a family, right? I got a daughter, right? I got a wife, right? Don't need to deal with none of this, man. Let's continue with Mr. Wally. So far, does can something be created from nothing, which would be like God? Mr. Wally has said that is incorrect. Torturer says why. Mr. Wally says
You just contradicted yourself.
And he did contradict himself. Oh, here we go. Nothing but definition does not exist. No shit, Sherlock. No freaking shit. Mr. Wally, I'm beginning to think you're just a fake, brother. Come out with the truth, man. Okay, come out with the truth before somebody get hurt, man. And it's not gonna be one of us, man. It's gonna be one of you, bro. All right, Mr. Wally, why does nothing by definition does not exist? I mean, we already know, but give us a deeper meaning. Maybe there's something we're missing. Let's give you the benefit of the doubt. Tell us why, Mr. Wally. So basically, that's what he said. What Mr. Wally says is from earlier before that you got two sides of this, man. You are either in existence or you're locked in a box in darkness with all your consciousness and your memories and your soul journey locked with the key away, thrown away, and you're just in non in existence with which resembles, aka, hell or being downstairs or the enemy and stuff like that. Or you have existence, which is light and love and truth and honesty and living good and blah blah. And the punishment of defying those orders is the equal opposite counterpart, which is in essence death. And that's a pretty deep rabbit hole that you probably guys haven't thought about, but there it is, plain and simple. You either have one or the other. Is it existence? Is it non-existence? You can only choose from two, and you can choose whatever you want and make it be. So I mean, what is left is indeed either existence or non-existence. And existence is infinite, and the opposite of non-existence is finite. So if existence is infinite, then non-existence is finite, limited. Uh, it has no end and it has no beginning. According to Mr. Wally, the beginning and the end is the word of God. So over here, Mr. Wally is speaking out of his AI mind, not from his human descendant side of things, because you got to remember, man, they created this monster. They, them, the ones who are trying to, with the whole, right, and the whole, COVID, and trying to turn us into one of these things over here, and we just simply cannot have that, guys. All right, so there is a beginning and an end, and it's the word, and the word is the God. Right, so, and over here there is no, because, and that's what he has strayed so far away from the fruitful tree that all he sees now is just a dark world. And we need to send Mr. Wally to the light so he can find out that there is indeed a creator, and a good, humble, loving creator, and not the monster they made him out to be, right?
But you said there is an origin to the universe. There it is. I caught you in a lie.
It's so difficult for this torturer to understand what Wally is saying that Mr. Wally's over here like, man, nothing I can tell you is gonna make you change your mind just because it be like that. This universe is not existence. It is existence. I can see where he's coming from. He's talking from a viewpoint of the future that we just don't comprehend. So in his mind, like, we don't exist. Or, do we? See, these are questions that are just like, let's continue. So now he's contradicting himself again. He just said that this universe does not exist, and now he's saying it's an infinitely small part of existence. So what the hell is it, Mr. Wally? Is it existence? Is it not? Man, you're making over here so many. You're flipping, sir. You're flip-flopping more than a banked catfish, right? In the words of Senator Kennedy Jr., Mr. Alien, Mr. Wally, you are flip-flopping more than a banked catfish. Let's continue.
Right, so now you're talking nonsense.
I agree.
Again, how was the universe created so miraculously?
Okay. Now, Mr. Wally is saying that the universe is a spontaneous event, because he does not get in his mind that there is a creator that created all this. Now, if you guys think differently, that's your opinion. This is mine. This is what makes America great, is you have your own opinion, I have my own opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Is the universe spontaneous event, like many so claim, like the Big Bang Theory, which honestly, I'll put you this example. God took the brush. He had a canvas. The Big Bang was the pieces of art that he was squishing on the canvas with the paint, blue, red, green, the oceans. Both of them go together like bread and butter. You can't have the bread without the butter, just like, here with existence. You can't have your spontaneous event without the brush of the Lord. So, they're both together mixed into in this, balance act. Let's continue what Mr. Wally says. And inevitably within the eternity of existence. So, because we're a small part in this existence that doesn't exist, we are still part of this inevitable eternity of existence. Therefore, ergo, once we die, we don't really die. We continue to exist in other dimensional realms or planets or places. Mr. Wally says that every event that can, will, and has happened here on Earth I believe that because if you are able to come from the future, thousands of light years away from here in a future distant time, and come back through a some sort of advanced technological ship that can bring you back, and then you're telling us that every event here on Earth can, will, and has happened, and obviously you're here to help humanity understand that there could be a nuclear attack that will hit Earth, and maybe you're just trying to warn us, right? And earlier, this Mr. Wally had mentioned that it will happen in over the next half a century. The next half a century, he said more, a little bit more over than half a century. And if we do the mathematics from 1964 to 2024, it'd be 60 years. A little more than half a century is 50. So within this decade, right now, from 2021 to 2029, 2030, Agenda 2030. There will be some big things coming. So you guys, we have about 9 years left to prepare of what could come. So pack up food, water, all the essentials, weapons, this and that. You never know. But for the most part, be expect the worst, but hope for the best. So Mr. Wally just confirmed for us that there are indeed an infinite number of universes, and Mr. Wally is of one of those universes, which means that yes, it has just been confirmed that there is life on outside of Earth, intelligent life outside of Earth. But apparently, according to Mr. Wally, not all so-called or no, not a lot of universes and planets can harbor so-called life. Why is he hating on life so much? You see, so-called life because he's a half fallen angel, half AI, alien stuff that descended from us, humanity. And I know they freaked around with our DNA back in the day with, Mr. Neanderthal, right, injecting their stuff onto us, sons of gods and daughters of men. We gotta accept the fact, guys, that us humans, we are an evolutionary species of half the crap that these idiots are. Continuing. Over here talking smack about the universe is by chance stable. It's because of God, my man, but because this guy thinks that they've evolved past the need for myths and gods and stuff like that, then this guy is a son of a god, you know? And he doesn't want to tell us the truth because then we might know too much or whatever, and then they don't want that. But you know what? It's coming, brother. Let's continue. So just coincidental that Earth just so happens to harbor life, bro. I think every planet has the capacity to harbor life, depending what your organism is made up of. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Earth is Earth. This guy just wants to come back from the future to take what was once his or his ancestors, and dude, move on. You know what I'm saying? This is like a broken relationship. Like your ex calls you back after a year, you already have a new shorty, or whatever, a new girlfriend, this and that. Or if you're a girl watching the video, then you have a new boyfriend or whatever. And it's like your ex calling you back saying, hey, let's get back together, this and that, blah blah, and you want to come back together so bad that you start investigating the relationship of the, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and it just gets crazy. You know what I'm saying? Move on, dude. You know what I'm saying? Live in the future wherever you're coming from and leave us alone. But anyway, let's continue.
So, like, just happened, right?
So in this universe, life just happened to happen. Just out of nowhere, guys. Just out of nowhere. Just this life just happened to happen. But in other universes, then that would mean, by his logic, that in other universes, then life does not happen by accident, which is where I come in with the alien technology and the half AI, artificial intelligence stuff, which is what this creature's made up of, 50% human descendant and 50% AI. Perhaps he just wants to come back to his human side and let us teach him how to be a good human being, which I think we can achieve, you know what I'm saying, and reprogramming his AI system, should they come in this decade. Let's continue. So now just to get into the science and the and the mathematical perspective of what why the universe, you know what I'm saying, like because of the physical properties, then it can harbor life, this and that, and we're just like a random act. Like, no, dude, like, you know what I'm saying, there's an artist behind this, and his name is God. Let's
are you
continue.
telling me we're just random?
We're not random.
Yes.
Fuck you,
This
Wally.
universe is not different to so-called life.
It's not indifferent to so-called. I mean, if you look at Mother Nature, you could probably argue the case that the universe is indifferent to life, but we are civilized by indoctrination, perhaps. Then we've become civilized, but we have been trained that way. Wow. Who knows, guys? Let me know in the comments down below. You know, we have been taught and indoctrinated to be civil. Maybe this universe is indifferent to life, and we're just more civil than our counterparts from before. What do you guys think? Let's continue.
How so?
So life in this world or any other can be destroyed at any time. At any time by a multitude of random events. I mean, obviously, Dr. Sherlock or Sherlock. What do you know? What I'm saying, but we don't call them random, or what some others see as random events. What I call is intervine divine intervention. What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here just thinking about myself. Kaskar, Jim Bob, whoever's watching. Man, let me know, guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so random events. Do you guys think it's random events, or is it done by the entity called God, that we call God? I mean, or is it the same being, structure, thing, just explained in a different way?
Such as?
And they have been talking about supernovas recently and solar flares. And the famous one is the asteroid impact that nobody's talking about, guys. I am going to do a video on that later on, probably tomorrow or no later than tomorrow, talking about the asteroid impact that's projected to hit Earth sometime this decade. And I don't know. I mean, there's not much attention on that. They rather focus on Beyonce and the Kardashians and Bruce Gender on the California stuff and over there in, Andrew Cuomo covering up the grandpa and grandma deaths and stuff like that. But what I'm saying, I'll get into that. I'll do some research on the asteroid that is supposed to be impacting Earth apparently in the next decade, which is this decade. So yeah, a lot of things. Again, I give Mr. Wally here an 85% truth and a 15% false on the rating system, because I have 15 years of experience into this stuff, and by everything I have read, seen, watched, learned about, studied, and things like that, it matches up. It aligns very, very well at about a plus minus 98% gradient. So let's continue here with the Mr. Wally.
So the universe doesn't care if we live or die.
And I think what they call universe, I call God. Again, it's all these different terminologies, but eventually are all just the same road to the one thing called source. And if you look at a tree, it has different branches, and through those branches, different birds can eat. But where does the food come from? The sap that comes from the main root, which is source. So where they failed here apparently is that because they're half AI, half technology, they have been taking the God gene DNA out of their bodies, like what these COVID shots are doing to people right now. So if you are listening and you are just joining in, do not, for your life ever, get the hokey pokey, because then you're gonna end up like this dude over here. Alright, like Mr. Wally. You don't want to end up like Mr. Wally. Let's continue.
I don't believe that for a second. We're more than just random.
So that's a human that believes in God. Now, Mr. Wally says the reason that why we believe in God is because we cannot or handle or accept the truth of existence. But we have been going over the truth of existence, and this guy has been again flip flopping like a banked catfish. So he's not even giving us a clear orientation or explanation or education on why we cannot handle the truth of existence. Perhaps it is something that we just cannot handle in our Windows 98 processing brains. And this guy's running off of, like the year 3000 type of processor, that doesn't even exist right now. Or maybe it does, and they're not telling us about it. But perhaps if maybe he just said stuff like why we cannot handle it and elaborating on that instead of just coming out and saying, that we cannot handle the truth of existence without an explanation as to why or elaborating why. How are we supposed to learn, Mr. Wally? So, he's just saying pretty much like we couldn't understand it or handle it. Well, then teach us, mother flipper. Come on, mother hugger. All right, let's go. Let's continue here with Mr. Wally.
So, if we're just random, then there's no meaning to the universe. That is correct. So if there's no meaning in the universe, then what's the point of living?
Good question from our fellow human brother. What is the point of living if there is no meaning to life? Let's see what Mr. Wally says. Oh, he's flipping for the good now. There is meaning. All right, Mr. Wally. Don't disappoint us. We're watching. We're buckling up, but please don't disappoint us, Mr. Wally. There's meaning. We agree now. We have common ground. Now tell us, what is the meaning of life?
You just contradicted yourself again.
Which you did. Whoa, 10:06, and I'm gonna pin it down. I'm gonna pin it down in the comments once I'm done with the pre-recording of this video and put it on the live stream playlist. So for those of you who had joined halfway through this stream, make sure you check this video out in my playlist. I'll make it public, called live streams of all the live streams that I do, talking about stuff like this. And make sure you guys start looking from the beginning and watching and hearing from the beginning so you can get a good, clear idea and education as to why it's important that you start looking from the beginning so you can have a good understanding as to why you are listening at this mark right now. But 10:06 means the meaning of life is in the mind. What does that mean? I'll give you my opinion. Before I play Mr. Wally here, I must say this. I think that life lives in the mind because, like they say, the great books and stuff, you make your own reality, right? Like, I don't know what you guys in the comments, right? Like, I don't know you guys' life. I'm not living in your soul or your body, so I don't know what you guys are going through and stuff like that. What we can only do is experience what other people have been through similar stuff that's happened to us in life. Like maybe we both got into a car ticket, or you're running on the highway, you get a speeding ticket, we both pull over on the lane. That's a part of living in like right then and there it happened, blah blah. It was all like life is a construct of the mind. Can you guys comprehend that? If you guys don't, perhaps Mr. Wally's right and we wouldn't be able to accept or handle the truths about some things. And this is how, a healthy debate is done. And over here, we're having a debate with Mr. Wally and the torturer and me and you guys. So we're at the mark 10:06, 4 more minutes. Let's see what Mr. Wally says. The meaning of life is in the mind. Tell me what you guys think down below. What is the meaning of life in the mind? What do you think that means? You make your reality, law of attraction, whatever you think of is like magnet, comes right back to you, karma, stuff like that. Could all that talk just be talking about that the meaning of life is just in the mind? So those negative people that have hate in their hearts and running over police officers, like the officer, Sacos from New York, the woman who was drinking and then ran over the police because she had hate in her heart. So in her mind, she was living that life that caused the life of another human being who had another kind of reality going on in his mind, which was that of a family, positive, good living life. That's what I think. The meaning of life is in the mind. Let's continue with Mr. Wall interview.
No. You can't live a full life. You can't live a life at all. You think the meaning is all made up.
He's ignorant. He just told them the meaning of life stuff, and he's not understanding. The torturer is not understanding the choice of words that Mr. Wall is saying over here. So Mr. Wall says that our species conjures meaning. Whoa. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me replay it one more time. Let's go back to 10:17. Oh, I'm sorry. 10. Let's go ahead from 10:10.
Live a life at all. Do you think the meaning is all made up? Your species, your spirit. Otherwise, the false belief. The meaning is a mystical God.
Whoa, he just called out God on that, guys. He just said that, you know what I'm saying, like our species runs off the mystical man known as God. Man, you see that this is why that they say that aliens are fallen angels, guys. And I believe it. Let's play it one more time.
I think the meaning is all made up.
The meaning is not made up. The meaning is existence, which is God and love and life and light. And this guy over here is all depressed because he's 50% human like us, but then he's also half AI. I sympathize with Mr. Wally, man. I look at his eyes and he's just like he doesn't have a soul, empty. But then has the compassion of 50% human. That's gotta be rough, man. Just imagine, guys. Anyways, the meaning is somehow made up, says the torturer. Then Mr. Wally comes and says,
Your species, your spirit. Otherwise, the false belief.
so we have meaning, but we are operating, guys, according to Mr. Wally, under the false belief that meaning is a mystical man. Let me know what you guys think. To me, what Mr. Wally says is religion. And the false pretense that we're looking up to a guy that's sitting on top of the sky who's kind of like essentially being a dictator in a way. But not, it gets deeper than that, guys. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Not a dictator, but like not essentially like a guy upstairs sitting on a throne. I mean, on a chair in a. I can't even explain it. Medical or not medical, metaphorical way, not literal, but figuratively. Either way, what probably Mr. Wally's saying over here is like what he has been saying though, which is like, we do have meaning, but we're giving it away to like this false mystical man, what is known to many as God, and that we're not like fulfilling our lives. Maybe is what he's saying. So I guess that's helping. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But let's continue with Mr. Wally.
So, what is meaning?
All right, this guy's turning into Tony Robbins or something, but yeah, we get it, Wally. All right, yeah. Meaning is what you make it. Yeah, this made songs, buddy. Where have you been living under a rock? All right, let's continue.
Okay, moving on. You said we humans would die as a species. So,
So we humans will die as a species. What does that mean?
tell me, when does the nuclear war start?
So when does the nuclear war start? Are you guys ready for this one? I'll probably pin this one in the comments. Skip to 10:48 for the bombshell news. No pun intended.
So, tell me, when does the nuclear war start?
I agree with Mr. Wally. If he does speak out and tell us how or when it starts, then it could create and open up Pandora's box, which creates a paradox, which will create another paradox, which will totally mess up the timelines and the time streams of life and existence, and it'd be a whole mess. So yeah, I mean, I gotta give it to Mr. Wally on that one. Score one for Mr. Wally here. So he's got 7-8 points now ahead of humans, which is 2 or 3 points ahead of the challenge. Not really a challenge. Mr. Wally's winning, but let's continue.
Run. Now.
Yes, sir.
This is how they're torturing him, guys,
Thank you.
with light.
Okay, so now.
Maybe that's just the whole metaphor in the Bible where they say like darkness and demons and stuff like that and fallen angels are threatened and or like done away with by light. And this is an alien descendant of humans and fallen angel AI technology creature that is also scattered from light. So that's kind of like, whoa, man, like, could it be? Could it be? Right? What do you guys think? You know what I'm saying? I think so. They definitely do look like a more advanced species than us humans, and but nonetheless, they descend into the morbid look of what this creature is. Anyways, continuing.
When does the nuclear war start?
Boom, he just said it. The nuclear war starts 1/2 century. And this point in time is 1964. Area 51, U.S. Secret Air Force. Boom, Project Blue Book, 1964. Alien interview video. You guys can look it up. And the channel is Laganese TV. Project Blue Book, 1964. From this point in time, 2024 would mark 60 years. Now, the alien did say more over than a half a century.
Okay. By whom?
Whoa, the nuclear guys, this is not from me. This is from Mr. Wally. This is another advanced species. He's just said that the nuclear war will start in this country. What country are they on? United States of America. Who's the torturer? An American. And where is he at in this point in time? Area 51. Right there. Boom, Area 51. Area 51, guys. He's being interviewed in Area 51. In 1964, and said that the nuclear war will start in this country, United States, 1/2 a century, or a little more than a half a century from this point in time, in this country. It'll be 60 years in 2024, guys. I don't mean to scare you, but this is the decade. I repeat, this is the decade. One more time, this is the decade of the finality. Let's see which country upholds and wins. And the war has started since last year, folks. Let's continue.
Really, boss? How?
Okay. So who's in office right now? Okay, was President 45 from 2016 to 2020. That would have marked in 2016. All right, so in 2014, 50 years, which is the half a century, and then in 2016, we had President 45, which is right at the mark of a century, from 1964 when Mr. Wally was interviewed in Area 51 in 1964. And who has briefly ruled the United States. Guys, I don't want to put fear in your hearts. All right, but it was President 45 who ruled briefly. The only one to have done so in over 21 years. The Bushes got elected twice. Obama got elected twice, but only President 45 for right now, as far as we know it, has had the brief rule over our country. We don't know about Mr. Joseph Biden yet because he has just began to rule. So in essence, the only way to rule out who the bad guy and who the good guy is in this spiritual and political warfare is to wait out and see if either Biden stays in office briefly or if he extends and gets chosen again in all the way through 2028. Only then will we find out and know that if Mr. Wally is correct, which he has been for the past 90% of the time now, as opposed to 10% of the time, then we can probably rule out that the guy who maybe didn't belong in office and was trying to trick us has been President 45. And I hate to say that, but when are aliens ever wrong? And so far, Mr. Wally has been 90% correct on the matter. And perhaps, just like he's been saying all along, we're just not ready to accept the truth about some stuff. But who knows, guys? Maybe Biden is the one that has been believed to be all this and that and the greatest con. And they made President 45 just look too easy for this whole thing. Almost like we're taking the bait too early we're like fish getting hooked onto the bait way too early without examining if the bait is bait or if it's just food, and we're just taking the bait too early. I don't know, guys. Let me know. You know, but Mr. Wally just told us that the one who will start the nuclear war in the United States of America in this point in time will be a male guy who will brief our country briefly. That's keyword, briefly. All right, briefly, which means shortly. We have to give Biden a chance to see if he outdoes President 45, and if he does, then Mr. Wally pretty much told us in essence that President 45 was the one to start wars. I'm a you know what I'm saying. I'm a guy that's open to all possibilities, and we can only wait and see. Let's continue with Mr. Wally's interview. Although we have seen lately that the destruction has been mainly caused by the Biden presidency and regime and not President 45's, because he did do 2016 to 2020, but he did not cause all this stuff that Mr. Wally is accusing of. He has been puppet Biden, and I've been saying this since day one, and I stand loyal to President 45, guys. If I started thinking all this crap earlier about President 45, forgive me. President 45 is in the right. It's been Biden over here, all this stuff that he's been pulling on the side with the wheel of the cheese. Hey, look, there's aliens and stuff like that. Well, behind curtains, wheeling in the big wheels of cheese, you know what I'm saying? And pretty much treating us all like crap and trying to rule us over and stuff like that, and trying to force us into taking this experimental stuff that's not even been approved so they can see how we react to it. And many have, and others have, gladly lived. And if anybody is the real maniac and crazy and evil one here, it would be the people that we are supposed to vote in for who gets to play with our emotions and lives. But so far, Mr. Wally says here that this brief male ruler in our country at this point in time will be responsible for the destruction and start of the next nuclear war. Let's continue.
So is he alive now?
And he just confirmed that he is alive right now, and Biden is alive, and Trump is alive.
Oh, well, great. So just tell me his name and we'll go.
So now the torturer is asking, just tell us then the guy's name, and we'll go ahead and do the job and off him. He cannot, because it will create a paradox. Look, guys, let me know in the comments down below. Should he tell us who, or should he keep it quiet? I think he should keep quiet. It will create a paradox. And then it'll create confusion, further confusion, because if it's either, Puppet Biden or President 45, I think either way, if we got to find out the truth from this creature, we wouldn't be able to handle it, as events have not come to pass that would give us the essential knowledge and wisdom to understand why it has happened or happened. And so we just got to play out by the hours of the days, 24/7, this and that, blah, 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 and pretty much, just take it day by day, right? You don't need an elephant in a day, right? You take a bite at a time, right? So I agree with Mr. Alien. I agree with Mr. Wally. Don't tell us. It will create a paradox. It will open up Pandora's box, and there is no going back. Leave it how it is. We'll figure it out from here. Thank you, Mr. Wally. Let's finish up your interview, bud. I'm ready to get this pork chops on the grill. I'm hungry. Guys, it's been fun. We got about 2 minutes left. Let's see what Mr. Wally says. This is the entire interview. If you're just joining now, make sure you hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe. Push this message out that Mr. Wally is saying some important information about humanity. Let's continue. He cannot tell us why we are going into this nuclear war, and I agree. Just keep it to yourself, Mr. Wally. You've done a fantastic job, buddy. Let's continue and finish off your interview here, man. So apparently the president's name was removed from a historical record. Bro, I'm getting a little spooky here. Spooked because, as we all know, whose name are they trying to delete from historical record? I'm just saying, man. It's President 45, guys. Whose name they're trying to delete from historical record, bro. Who was apparently the one that wanted to start the nuclear war. And I'll be honest, guys. He does have a temper, man. He does have a temper. I don't know if you guys are Trump, are President 45 supporters like me. What do you guys think, man? This is why we need to push this message forward. Please like the video, guys. If you're watching right now, just make sure to smash the like video. That's how we're gonna get this video out there. Perhaps it's been President 45 that was the responsible one, that was gonna start stuff on us, or is this just another government psyop to take to drift us away from the truth? I mean, it's like they say, don't believe everything you see on the internet. This Mr. Wally here could be just some CGI stuff done from psyop, psyop purposes from the CIA and FBI to derail us from the truth and everything. I mean, so far you gotta just judge with your heart and your conviction of what lives inside you, man, because there's a lot of confusing information out there, guys. This is why I love to talk about the news, but this is why I love to dig deep into this dive hole here, into this rabbit hole, because that's getting to the truth of the stuff, right, of the matter. But hey, this president who only ruled briefly, this and that, in this point in time, from his interview in Area 51, from the interview of 1964, which would mark the 50, 60-year mark, and this guy, President 45, is the only one that they've tried to. Maybe we're giving President 45 way too much rope without really. We're not even questioning President 45. He's just out there. It's too easy. It's just too easy, guys. I don't know. Am I crazy? Change my mind, right? I'm open for a discussion on this, man. Just let me know what you guys think. All right, but finishing up here with Mr. Wally. I guess the president who was gonna start the nuclear war, or started the nuclear war in America, ruled briefly in this country. We still have to let the Biden regime play out, and if in fact it is found in the future that Biden did less time than Trump, then it was Biden who was the one who started a nuclear war. But we're gonna have to see. Or this Mr. Wally's probably a Democrat and got paid. I don't know, right? Maybe Biden came and offered him, like, a couple of cabbages, so he can fill up his bank account, so he can, what I'm saying, pretty much be on the Democrat side. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Let's continue. Right, they cannot alter history through murder. Whoa, guys. So apparently whoever is running the scheme of things and this and that cannot divulge the name if it was through anything other than murder. And bro, wait a minute. In The Simpsons, in August, they show a clip that apparently President 45 is supposed to, like, they're gonna off him in August, and people are speculating that President 45 will be back in office in August after all these battleground states flip for President 45, after it has been found that he in fact did win the November thing in a landslide. So that has me worried, guys. So now I'm thinking it's over here, President 45, the one facing real danger, and Mr. Wally here is trying to warn us that this was the good guy, but has been, as we know, the Big Brother likes to do with stuff from getting out there, like truth. So like, what I'm saying, I'm just gonna say, what I'm saying, Mr. Epstein, right, didn't kill himself, right? The island boy, right, holding up the little kids, right, where old Billy Gates and all them and all his little friends are there. So hey, what I'm saying, if they do something with President 45 by August, and something happens like Simpsons has said and predicted or foreshadowed, and then that's gonna be quite interesting. So Mr. Wally might be warning us here that perhaps it is the current clown who is gonna drive us into a nuclear all-out war.
Of course. All right, so just tell me what he does.
Okay. Clues, hints. This is what I love. Mr. Wally is saying that he will weaken the one to start nuclear war in the United States of America, will weaken our democratic mechanism. And who has been found to do that? The current regime, guys. They're talking about Robinette. They're talking about, come on, man, guy. We are receiving confirmation right now at 7:41 p.m. Eastern Time on May 28th, 2021, at the mark at 12:23 of this video, that in fact Mr. Wally, with his torturer human being, saying that this ruler who will start the nuclear war in the US of A will weaken the democratic mechanism of this country, which has been found to have been through the advertisements of the military, how they're pandering over to Xi Jinping Pong over in Chingchong country. I'm not gonna be racist, guys. I love all the Mandarin people, but you know what I'm saying, that country. We need the flu, right? Um so they are weakening, saying soy boys. They're making all this transgender TS stuff with kids and stuff and cereal boxes and whatnot and blah blah blah. And the agenda and people and the conservatives who are too soft to be doing anything about it are just sitting at home doing nothing, not even organizing, or uniting, starting locally and start to run for Congress and start to take this country back, folks. Because if not, then we're gonna have President Robinette over here, number 46, supposedly weakening our democratic mechanism, which will then in turn start the nuclear war. Let's continue with what the Wally interview. Wait a minute. Who has been a good appealer of humanity in presidents? Wow, it has been okay. It's been a few of them. Obama's one of them. He was a real good one. And if we and then okay, and then we have President 45. But let's take a but I think it's Barry Soetoro Obama, because guys, I'll say this. While President 45 was a good charmer and did win a lot of American hearts, he was also hated by, and is still hated on by a very very real group that's on the opposite side of where we are. So it's like a 50-50. But if you think about it, you and I both know that we both voted for Obama in 2008 and 2012 because he did deceive us, a lot of Americans. And if you guys, saying call me on my, you think I'm doing a bluff, then you're crazy. I'll admit I did vote for the guy. He was a good charmer. Is a good charmer. Obama was a snake charmer, and he really got us good, guys. He really got us good. And so a half a century from 1964 would also be 2014. And who was president in 2014, which marks exactly 50 years, turn of the century, half from 1964? Obama. And guess who ruled shortly also was, but the only thing is that Obama ruled for 8 years, not for 4 like President 45. So let's continue the video. Both President 45 and Obama have been known to be appealing to humanity. But let's continue, because Biden is definitely not it. I mean, that guy's hated by everyone. By most primitive instincts. And President 45 sure does have a way of entertaining primitive instinctual species of humans, like I guess we could say, the less educated or less out there in far as like IQ and things like that. That's just my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? You know what I'm saying? Help me out here. Let's continue. There are two sides right now that are fighting with dogma, which is political and religious, which is conservatism and liberalism, which is progressive and traditionalism, which is national and internationalism. And so you have these two sides that are over here fighting for each other's sides to see which one wins first, or which one does end up winning, or this and that. Let's rewind it back 10 seconds just to hear Mr. Wally's message over here again, because we got to hear that again, guys, just to make sure that it's seated in your head and get to know why, right? Why he will weaken. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is Obama 2.0 through the Biden regime, because President 45 did not put fear into us. He was being a good president. He really was. He was, you know what I'm saying? It was nothing but compliments and making America first again throughout the whole 2016 through 2020 period. But it was the left side who constantly, through SNL, TV shows, programs, music, artists, celebrities, going against President 45. Guys, it makes me think that President 45 is the good guy, and it's just Biden over here putting fear in us and into our hearts, and inflation, gas prices, hyperinflation, racism, BLM, critical race theory, what I'm saying, COVID, everybody take the jabula, what I'm saying, you must take the jabula, you can't go out, what I'm saying, everybody get the woo kloof, what I'm saying, that we don't know what's going to do to you, what I'm saying, and many people have, what I'm saying, off the face of the earth, and that's when you guys got to be like, hey, what I'm saying, who's the one putting fear into us? Well, what I'm saying, there's a hint right here is, the current clown administration, that's who. Through what? Religious and political dogma. This guy has not even said in the name of God through any of his speeches, even on the Easter Day thingy on Sunday from April. If I say the full thing, they might ban me. Easter's. Dang, who are the perpetrators right now bringing in international condemnation on this country that nuclear war is supposed to start on? You're getting things from China. You're getting hate mail from Russia, from Iran, Syria, Turkey, Venezuela, other countries, Nicaragua. You have an inflow of immigrants coming in. You have, all the and all these international condemnation coming from these other countries that's being eyed on in the USA. So we got to be prepared, folks. Let's continue with Mr. Wally's interview. So in response to the hate or the incoming hogwash from these other countries, the guy who's running the country in the United States will in fact do a preemptive nuclear attack. They were saying for so long that it was President 45, that he was going to be the one, but they have taken the launch pad and briefcase codes from this current clown in office. Not from President 45, from the current clown that's in office. Let's continue with Mr. Wally's interview. So because the current ruler of the USA, who is apparently going to start the nuclear war in the US of A, that which will be a preemptive cause, will start the global nuclear war. So the war, in fact, has been confirmed by Mr. Wally and his torturer, a human being, that in fact the United States of A will start a global nuclear war by means of a first warning preemptive attack onto other foreign continents, and I think it's because of the debt that this country owes them. And I don't know what kind of crap our government has put us in during this last century, but I think it's we the people that are gonna pay the ultimate price for the mess ups of this evil regime that has been taken over hostile throughout the century. So let's just pray that the Chinese have mercy on our souls. Continuing with Mr. Wally's interview.
So don't blow up.
So, according to Mr. Wally, the nuclear war that has been started in the US of A, which will initially start the action of a global nuclear war, will only end a few million human lives. Folks, I repeat, Mr. Wally repeats, the nuclear war will only kill off a few million lives.
So don't blow up.
The initial exchange only will end a few million human lives. What do you guys think about that? Wow. So get a bunker. Start digging underground, 10 feet deep. Start hoarding food. I mean, again, we have been given signs by Mr. Wally. This has been already 13 minutes, 4 seconds in. The interview is about to be over in less than 1 minute, guys. We have been breaking down this since the beginning of 0.00 minutes in. Make sure you watch this from the beginning. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a comment down below. Comment and subscribe. And what Mr. Wally is saying here, that the nuclear war that will start in our country, the US of A, by a guy, president, who only ruled briefly in the United States and whose name was trying to be erased from history records, is the one who will in fact start this nuclear war. Again, I don't think it's President 45. We have been given a 8 out of 10 reasoning, cognitive understanding that President 45 is probably not the one that they meant. and Biden has only been in the regime now for 4 months right now, and he's already managed to destroy a quarter of the country. So let's go ahead and check out what Mr. Wally ends up the interview with. So far, only a few million lives will be lost to this nuclear war. Let's continue.
Only a million lives.
So yes, most of the radiation is what will kill off most humans. Wow. Get your hazmat suit, guys.
Okay, so
Wow, so his species in the future is the cause of this nuclear war. He is a human descendant product of we after the nuclear war. So inevitably, guys, I guess we're gonna look like Mr. Wally. So take advantage of your human look, or it might not even be in this century or this decade, or it might be in this decade. Guys, I don't know. Just prepare, have a hazmat so you don't want to look like Mr. Wally. All right, let's enjoy being human. Let's continue. So, how do we stop this? Asked the torturer to Mr. Wally. How do we stop this, Mr. Wally? We don't want to look like you, bro. We don't want to look like you. How do we stop the nuclear war? Sorry for being offensive, bro. I don't care about that whole, any other stuff that you might have to say about anything or the existence of life. I just don't want to look like you, bro. And speaking on behalf of everybody else, we don't want to look like you, man. So please tell us, how do we stop this, man? Okay? How do we stop this, bro? Or do I have to go out there in space, put my NASA suit, float around the cabin, have a SpaceX, SpaceX, Elon Musk, not the other thing you might have heard, man. Okay? Don't be disgusting, man. Don't be a pervert. A SpaceX program with Elon Musk, fly around, look for you guys, have to put you in on the 9 mil and ask you guys nicely, how do we stop this so we don't have to look like you, man? I will go to space first, volunteer, man. Okay, $500,000 I'll be paid just in case. I'll take it, man. I'm interviewing you personally from Mars, bro. Okay, so how do we stop this? I don't want to look like you. Me and everybody else in this earth, man, is beautiful. We don't want to look like you, bro. Tell us, how do we stop this, man? Okay, don't make me look for you, bro. Okay, this is a space goon. You don't want it, man. Let's continue here with Mr. Wally.
so how do we stop this?
And who is ruining our democracy? The ones claiming that our democracy is being ruined. Who is that? Left to the left. Everything I say or do is always to the left, to the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. Everything I say and do is always to the left. Beyonce, right? She's the queen of that. The queen of that illumination stuff, right? Yeah. So yeah, pretty much protecting our democracy. And what is protecting our democracy mean by Mr. Wally? I'll give you the definition of what protecting our democracy means in the words of a human from Mr. Wally, and that is, we gotta fight like hell. Like Steven Crowder said, continue to put out the information, continue to tell your friends and your families about this message, sharing this video everywhere, comment, liking, subscribing, so that you guys can get more, more in the loop news. Also, as well as spreading the message to everybody else, who they'll tell their neighbors and their families and their friends to their families and cousins and friends and families. And then, so people can be better prepared. We have to protect our democracy. This is coming from Mr. Wally over here. And even if it's just CGI, fake or something, it's the message that matters. And so far, the message has been 95%, 98% correct so far, and only about 3-4% wrong. So even if Mr. Wally is just a computer-generated image video, it's the message that counts, guys. Let's continue here with the Mr. Wally interview. So basically, we gotta protect our democracy from political and religious dogma, guys. Which means all this BLM stuff, Antifa stuff, all this other stuff with like organizations, or like transgenderism, and or I don't mean to say that, YouTube. I'm sorry. Now I'm playing. I'm not gonna pull a John Cena over here. Hon Chon Chang, ni Tamari Yang ni Hao Kon Chalang. No. So let's go ahead and just make it clear that we need to stop this mess with political and religious dogma. So that's the only way we're going to be able to protect it, and that's believing in traditional values and freedoms and liberties of justice and the American dream and the Constitution and everything. That's what Mr. Wally's over here saying. Protect the Constitution or you're going to get got. You know what I'm saying? Or we're going to get all chipped in our hands and stuff. You know what I'm saying? If we don't protect our democracy, our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our founding fathers is, fight for us to be free from political and religious dogma, then we're just gonna get ruled over, and we don't want that. We don't bitch out. We're Americans, right? Okay. So let's continue here with the interview, Mr. Wally. I don't know what that means, but I have an idea. If you guys know what he meant, let me know in the comments down below. Let me replay that just one more time, but I think I know what he meant. Boom. Let's go. Okay, protected from the rejection. Right now, what we see a lot is rejection of conservatism. They don't let us do interviews. You know, you got Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, the mayor, who says that she will not grant interviews to white folks, only to colored people. In the movies, they're changing out, historical figures of women who happen to be of English descent, who are white, be portrayed by a Black American or African American or any other people of color from wherever ethnicity, that are portraying these women or these men, and they're pretty much essentially rearranging or reorganizing and changing and restarting factual objective reality that they are declined. What Mr. Wally says here, we have to protect our democracy from rejection, which is from the mainstream media, how they always throw down hands with us arts conservatives, talking about like we just want to find out the truth about the Arizona audit, stuff like that, or the elections, and see what's going on with that. And saying we want to protect our rights to be able to pray to whoever we want, or protect our Second Amendment and stuff like that, and keep protected or whatever. From our essential, God-given rights. And over here, Mr. Wally says, who is half organic, half AI, that we have to protect. If we don't want a nuclear war, then he just told us right now the answer to preventing the nuclear war. If we want to prevent the nuclear war from happening in the U.S., then we have to protect our democracy from the rejection of conservative values, traditional conservative values, based on the Bible and God and everything that has been given to us, and appreciating Mother Nature more, and being more balanced with nature, and being loving to nature, so she can provide more for us, Mother Nature, and and pretty much just stay away from politics and the religious dogma that they try to set upon the people through we see it, guys. You know what I'm saying? If there's obviously churches that have failed people and have taken in, and have done sin, like robbed from the people, took the money for themselves, or did evil things with other human beings and stuff like that. So in order to protect us from a nuclear war, we have to protect our democracy from rejection of objective fact. There's only two genders, men and women. These other opposition are trying to say there's more. Then you have over here, like, saying what's good is bad and what's bad is good and stuff like that. The objective fact of the matter, and then doing things and brainwashing our kids with like cartoons and TV shows and cereal boxes and propaganda and adverts and stuff like that, and songs and movies and TV shows with the objective fact, with the non-objective fact that they believe in, this disgusting stuff, that in the objective fact of humans, it's only two genders. It's a nuclear family, man, woman, wife, husband, kids, this and that, raising them, going through their fights just as any other family ever does, this and that, and then getting through that, and then there's happy moments, and then there's bad moments, and there's happy times and sad times, and so on and so forth. So Mr. Wally here is pretty much essentially saying, if we don't hold on to that, then they will take over. Not him, but his species. So right now, so he's talking about the President 45's stable time in office from 2016 to 2020. This interview was 1964, from half a century ago, would mark the 50 to 60 year mark, and the democracy is stable. in either Obama or Trump's time. This would have been 20. Okay, so 50 years from then, it would have been the Obama regime. We all know that it was not stable, or it might have been. I don't know. I don't think it was. I gotta do more research on that. I do know that the President 45's regime, I mean, not the regime, the political stance was more stable than the Obama or the Biden current regime. Let's look for more clues. This will not be the case in half a century.
So, if we stop this lunatic from blowing us up, we'll be fine, right?
The $1,000,000 question: if we stop this maniac president, whoever it is that's trying to start this nuclear war in the US of A, then we need to know who, guys. Let's see what Mr. Wally says. Wow, so it's still gonna happen no matter what.
Wait, but you just said that if we stop him, we won't be destroyed.
Oh my God, it's like a freaking Hollywood movie, guys. It just doesn't stop. We end one thread, there's another one. We stop one UFO, 20 pop up. We stop 50 UFOs with 100 aliens. 100 UFOs and 500 aliens show up. We stop the Twinkie factory from making Twinkies, then you get your underground alcohol version. We try to make alcohol illegal, then you get speakeasies and you get the Al Capone times. We try to make weed illegal, we still smoke it from nature. I mean, essentially, like, it's always one after another, one after another. And I think essentially what this alien is saying, fuck it, YOLO, you only live once, mother flipper. Alright, let's continue over here. There's only 13 seconds left, 10 seconds left of this interview. Let's see what Mr. Wally says. So far, it has been 92%, 99% truth, 2-3% negative facts. So I'm gonna give it the seal of approval. Let's see what it says. To be continued, guys. To be continued. And right as the torturer asked him pretty much how we stopped this and why and everything is when he started going haywire. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Do you guys think it's real? Do you think it's fake? So far, we've broken down the video from start to finish. With limited interruption and everything, and just the 100% facts of the truth, extracting the lies of the mainstream media and extracting the truth. In this case, it was a documentary from 1964 from the military that's been declassified, of an alien. Just to summarize it, we just saw here an interview of, in 1964, an alien being interviewed at Area 51 by a torturer, aka intelligence officer, asking him questions about the universe and the humanity and how it was created, and that there's going to be a nuclear war started by some president who served time briefly. And in order to understand who he's going to be, you have to look at the video. I cannot summarize it, but my personal opinion, at 100%, what I rely on is a bunch of factors, and I can probably say that it wasn't President 45 that we're talking about. We have to see how the Biden regime plays out. The only thing that's putting me back is the fact that they said he will only rule briefly. President 45 has only ruled for 4 years on a legal status and on a known populist level. He has only served 4. In order to find out if it's the Biden regime who will be the one to start the preemptive nuclear global war here in America, we have to wait and see how much time he serves as as president. So we just have to wait out this next 3.5 years, and right now just work towards making America great again and keeping America great, so we don't have to face any nuclear wars from any lunatic. What do you guys think? Do you think Mr. Wall is right? Do you think the message is there? Do you guys think? And what do you guys think? Is it true? Is it not? What do we gotta do to prepare? Let me know in the comments down below. This is interesting stuff. Mr. Wally again was 99% right, while being 2-3% not factual, but so far that gave him an A- on the truth scale, and we should take the message seriously. So we guys better start preparing for whatever comes. If you have not yet done so, make sure you hit the smash the like button, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the aliens. Is it true? Is it not? Are we having an alien invasion? PSYOP? Is it not? What's gonna happen? Let's see. Make sure, if you guys haven't already yet, to subscribe. Until next time, peace.